Hey everybody, Preparedness on here. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. So we're going to be talking about with what is going on in Hong Kong. Will that have any kind of effect on us? And we're going to talk about that whole situation. Okay, so I got some uh, good information, and we're going to get into depth in that in a little bit. But I just want to remind anybody, if we have any issues tonight with the live stream, that I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. So, be prepared. That has happened and it has been happening. So, it's just what we have to deal with. And, so somebody had said to me, they said, how come every time when your live stream clicks out and you come back on, you always say unbelievable? Well, because it gets really old and it's just unbelievable that it continues to happen. That's pretty much why I say it. But, so again, if we have any issues with the stream, just wait for me. I will get right back on right away. I promise it shouldn't take that long. Okay, so before we get started, I want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. And so please be decent in the chat. And also, no racism, no nastiness in the comments. Be decent. If you are not decent, then what will happen is my awesome moderators lit up in blue will boot you out of here. Okay, so just don't do it. It's just not it's not acceptable. Hold on, I was looking at something. All right, so all right. That being said, let's get into the topic of Hong Kong. So I don't know if everybody knows or not, but starting June 30th, China passed, and of course, one of those. Imagine this: a government passing something in the middle of the night without their citizens knowing it. Isn't that? It sounds familiar. God, it sounds like New York, actually, is what it sounds like. But anyway, they set up a new national security law. So China set up a new national security law for Hong Kong. So what does that mean? Okay. So it criminalizes offenses such as subversion, secession against the central Chinese government, terrorism, and colluding with foreign forces. So what does that mean? Basically, what that means is you are not allowed to protest about the government at all, or otherwise you're considered. Oh, we got an earthquake here. Hello, buddy. Hey, buddy. It's you're going to be locked up. China don't play. They will lock you up. China vowed to retaliate against the USA for banning American business using Chinese bank. It's what a lot of people don't understand about Hong Kong. Hong Kong has shared a special relationship with the U.S. for quite a while. Okay, come on, go lay down. And we have sent them, military technology and all that type of stuff. Okay, now are we trying to circumvent China? Of course we are. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like we're just so innocent and we're just we're here to help. No, we're trying to subvert China. I mean, that's the reality of it. Okay, so buddy, what are you doing? No, don't get on there. Do not get on there. I know. Lay down. You're a good boy. This cat, when it's time for his love, he wants his love. I'm trying to do a show. Relax. So. But it basically, what this new national security law that they're doing in Hong Kong, the Chinese government, it allows the Chinese to override Hong Kong's independent legal system, because Hong Kong had an independent legal system from mainland China. It was two different laws, one nation type of thing, whatever they said. So. But this now says, nope, we can override everything. We can oversight the magistrate, whoever is going to be overlooking any of these cases as far as, these political parties that are, wanting independence and stuff like that. They can basically lock these people up, decide who's going to be the judge in the case, and that's it. And so we know how that's always going to work out, okay? We always know how that's going to work out. Chinese security forces are now allowed to openly operate also in Hong Kong. So there's a lot going on with this thing. I mean, they're basically, it's the end of their autonomy is what it is. What they've just done by passing this national security law, it ends Hong Kong's autonomy. It's gone. So what have we done as far as the U.S. so far? Okay. The U.S. has stopped exporting defensive equipment to Hong Kong over the new Chinese law because they're afraid that any kind of equipment, sensitive military stuff that they're sending over there will end up with the Chinese, not with the people of Hong Kong. And it's also, U.S. has cut high-tech sales to China as a protest for the crackdown. So that's the other thing that they have done. So and this is what I find funny. So it just shows you how, the UN. China must reconsider Hong Kong security law. 27 countries tell the United Nations. Okay, doesn't mean a thing. It means absolutely nothing because basically China can do what we normally do and go, yeah, well, we're going to do whatever we want anyway. All right. What people don't understand with the business arrangements now, so who's going to suffer? Big business will suffer initially from this, okay, because they have billions and billions in trade through Hong Kong that are not having the tariffs and everything put on there. Well, that'll all go away. That'll all be gone now. With China cracking down, all of that is going to be gone. So that's preferential treatment that Hong Kong was getting all along. That'll be out the window. With China basically saying, okay, we're done and cracking down, that'll be gone. I think I said in another stream, I think it was like 230 or plus countries had their home base of operation in Hong Kong. And it's all about the tax laws, guys. It was a very friendly, are sanctions coming for Hong Kong like China? Absolutely, John. They will absolutely do that. They'll do the same thing because of the fact China's locked them down and basically said, you're ours, we're going to do what we want to do. And they're not separate from China anymore. They're part of China. That was going to happen anyway. China just made it happen sooner than it was supposed to happen. I think they had like another 20 years where they were supposed to be able to be as independent as they have been. But that's out the window now. Because you got to remember, the lease ended, I think it was 97 or 98, the 100-year lease that Britain had with having Hong Kong. And then it went back to China. But they went back to China under the stipulation that they would have autonomy and they have their own independence. I think it was it was 97. Okay, Robert. Yep, thank you. And then, it was supposed to continue on for, somebody says 2032. Okay, Robert was saying that. Yeah, so it's supposed to be like 35 years. They were going to be autonomous and have their own, and then eventually be reabsorbed into China. Well, obviously, China had had enough of the protests, and they have decided that is it. And so that's what they have done. And, there's really not a whole lot, realistically, that anybody's going to be able to do about it. Now, will it cause other tensions? Sure. Let's see. Scarlet Rose said, seems to me China is up to something more than just limiting Hong Kong freedom. Oh, it's, I agree with that. It's all about control. Because of the amount of money that flows through Hong Kong as well, it hurts European nations. It hurts America. With them doing this lockdown, those preferential treatments that were in place are going to be gone. So, it definitely affects people in that aspect. So that's something to pay attention to. Absolutely something to pay attention to. Recommended for somebody to run for president in my live chat and it got deleted. Nicholas just said that. Oh, Heather's going to, okay, you got to bring over to Molly Mall?
All
right.
She called me over. I picked her up so I could display the girl.
So this, obviously, you guys know, this is little Miss Molly.
I don't look good right now, so ignore that.
She's our tiny little girl.
Oh, she's a little anxious right now.
Yeah, well, that's what she does.
She followed me all the way to the door, but the moment I pick her up, she's still purring, who doesn't want to be held.
Yeah, Asif just said, kill the golden goose. Absolutely. Because it hurts us financially much, much more. And also, they hurt themselves with that too, but there's got to be other things going on. There's so much behind the scenes of things that we don't see on an everyday basis that we have no idea about. Like when I looked into it before with Hong Kong and the billions and billions of dollars in trade just between Hong Kong and the United States, it amazed me for an island that has 7 million people. So amazing what was going on. So it's interesting to see how this whole thing will play out. The tensions are continuing to rise with China, and that's not always a good thing. China wants to be the man. They want to be, and the way that they have done things with with letting people borrow money, they're very, very smart. Please don't think that the Chinese are stupid people, because they're not by any stretch of the imagination, not at all. What they've done with a lot of these countries is, they would give them these loans at like 6% to build dams and other things like that. I see China has laid claim to a Russian city. I did not see that, Emil. I had not seen that one yet. But, it's, again, it's, they've done a lot of loans all throughout the world, like a lot of places in Africa and other nations. And when those people can't pay back those loans for whatever the case may be, then what happens is China will take over that port or whatever on a lease type of thing for a certain amount of period of time, like that 99-year lease. And it's stuff that they've built, and it's run, those ports are then run by the Chinese. So they're very, very smart. It's the Belt and Road Initiative. Yeah, exactly. Chinese Americans are currently protesting on the White House steps, JJ just said. Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure that they are. Hey, full of hope. In China, the huge 3 George Dam looks like it's going to flood the whole Hubei Valley River, run straight through the central Wuhan. A million could die. Wow. I know that they were having issues. Thank you for that information. I knew they were having issues with their dams over there. There's a lot of stuff, guys, all over where a lot of these dams are just not doing well at all. Infrastructure all over the world is not well. China plans long-term lending money as part of the takeover plan, as is a bioweapon. Yeah, absolutely, and I can't disagree with that. Strategy. Like with us, what do? Okay, we go into these different countries, and we have more bases, military bases all over the world than anybody else, and we do it in the guise of protection. So if you let us in here and this is our base, and we'll protect you as a nation, but we have a foothold in that country, and it gives us a lot of sway and a lot of power and a lot of control. China wants to do the same exact thing, So how long ago were these dams built? Well over 100 years, JJ just said. I know that the one dam, I don't know if that's the one she's talking about, wasn't built that long ago, realistically, maybe 50 years, something like that. There's one huge one where they made all these people leave. They flooded behind it, and they built this huge dam. And it was really, I don't know, let's see. So China's also arguing with Australia, India, and the Philippines. They are not popular right now. Well, I know they're having a lot of issues with India. I knew that. They really don't want to isolate themselves like that, though. That would not be smart against a whole bunch of countries. If they went against a whole bunch of countries, that would not be good. Hey, Troy, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, guys, I want to bring something up really, really quickly. And we have a fellow prepper in need, okay? So I want to kind of tell you a little bit about the thing. It's John's Homestead, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link when this video does go up. I will go back in and put the link in the description. He has a GoFundMe account, and what he's looking for, so I'll give you a little background. Last year he broke his back. He has COPD, a lot of health issues and stuff like that. Recently fell and broke an ankle in 8 places. Now that's not pleasant at all. Okay, he's having to have surgery, so he's looking to get a scooter to be able to have mobilization, to be able to get around. And of course, insurance won't pay for it. Imagine that, right? So he has a GoFundMe page. He's asking for the help of $2,000. All right. So what I would ask you guys, and I will be making a donation myself as well, just so you know, I'm not asking you to do it, and I'm not going to not do it myself as well. But he has a GoFundMe page, and I will have that link in there. when I do the description, and you'll see that. And if you would go and support him, and whatever help you can give would be fantastic, and I would appreciate that. Like I said, fellow prepper having issues, and if we can help them out, I think that's a good thing. And I will obviously be donating as well. So just so you guys know, and I'll put that, and it's for John's Homestead. Okay, he's a regular on here. He's been following my channel for quite some time, and he's in need of some help right now. Okay, and I guess one of his relatives set up this page, so it's not like they're asking for 10 grand. He's asking for $2,000. So, and I went and looked. Hey, Asif, the borrower is the slave to the lender. Dave Ramsey. China is acting like as a lender. Yeah, they are, absolutely, and they put you in that position, and then they can squeeze you. And mosquito. Yeah, thank you very much, Asif, for that donation as well, and that's a good statement. Very, very good statement. But so anyway, that link will be down in the description. So if you can do some support for him to help him out, anything, $5, $10 to help him get to their goal so that they can get a scooter for him, that would be great. So I appreciate that, guys. I mean, like I said, if you can't, I get it. You know what I mean? If you can't do it or you don't have it, I understand. I just wanted to put that out there. Yep, it's for John's Homestead. And John, if you're on here, you can put the link if you would like. And so moderators, please don't turn it off or block it. If John wants to throw the link up here in the chat, please let him do that, guys. So moderators, please do not block that if he throws that link up there. So he should be able to do that in the chat. So hopefully, he can do that. So anyway, so that I just wanted to share that with you guys. He had contacted me today. Is he a veteran? I am not sure if he's a veteran or not, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't remember if he ever told me he was or not. But so anyway, so let's get back into China here, guys. China has got a lot of inroads. Rob Price says, no ammo, no coins, no lumber. What is happening? Yeah, there is a lot of stuff that is going on. I know a lot of people are talking, a lot of the banks are asking people to turn in their coins because they're having a shortage on coins. None of the different things that are happening makes any kind of sense to me whatsoever. None. Yeah, China owns too many American companies. Mary V and VT said that. Yep, I agree. They got their finger in a lot of pies. And, they've been, let's see, what do we got here? Oh, John is a veteran? Okay. All right, good. All right, so. Yeah, it's amazing the stuff that is not available out there right now. It's, again, I just kind of want to explain where I was coming from, what my thought process was. With everything that happened and, the lockdown and, no unnecessary travel and all this type of stuff, I just felt that our window of opportunity to prepare better is very rapidly narrowing. Okay. So I was like, that's true. My wife works at a bank. They can't get coin delivered. Wow. That's crazy. That is great. I'm going to hold on to my coins then. I'll be honest with you. I'm not giving my coins up. But I felt that our window of opportunity was very narrow. And so obviously this spring did a lot of things here at the homestead. And, it's like even getting my sister's house in here. I thought it was really, really important to get it in here as soon as we possibly could. And I'm glad that we got it in here. I'm really, really glad we got it in here. So, it's, there's, I think, I don't know, gut feeling is telling me that we have some very, very hard times coming up and that we need to be really diligent and be paying attention to these things. Continuing to get ready as much as we possibly can with everything that has happened and all this craziness around the country. I mean, people have lost their minds. I mean, they've absolutely lost their minds. Like the latest thing, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Yes, my wife is a fraud investigator with the bank. Hang on to your coins. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm not getting rid of my coins. But with all this stuff that's going on, the latest thing that I just saw was now they want Mount Rushmore torn down. I mean, this insanity is just not stopping. It's just not stopping. They're taking down statues of Christopher Columbus. They're taking down statues of it's part of our history. Um, I want to remind you guys another group of people that destroyed history. Okay, and it was over in Afghanistan. And when the Taliban went in there and they blew up those old ruins of Buddha. I think it was Buddhism or something to that effect, but it was very, very ancient stuff, and they destroyed them, got rid of them. When you erase history, you're doomed to repeat it. Got him. Mosquito. So, but when you erase history and try to erase history, you're absolutely doomed to repeat it. And I think that's where a lot of this is headed. Let's see. We also 1917 Russian Revolution did the same thing. Yeah, yeah. The Bolsheviks. Yep. So Trump at Mount Rushmore tonight and doing a special from there. Yeah, I knew he was doing that. I knew he was doing that. There's Miss Molly. See, she's going to lay down or if she wants to go out. So, yeah, right. Now, James Osborne just made a really good observation. He says, stock up on propane. Who knows if that's next? Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, like I said, anything that you can think of that you need to stock up on that's going to help you in a long-term situation. If you got a gas grill, get the extra I got it. Okay, come on, Mel. Hold on 1 second, guys. I know she wants to go out. Sorry about that. So when she starts wandering like that, I know what she wants. Because usually if I'm in bed, she walks on my head. And that's usually my clue that she wants to go out. So that is my full-time job. I am a professional doorman. And I got to remind you guys of something. I have so many people that say, why don't you put in a cat door? All right. I live in the country. And I really don't want a raccoon to come in the middle of the night and help himself to whatever. That would not be fun to wake up to. So there will be no cat door. So, or you could have a possum or anything. Anything could come in. So, yep, somebody just said possums too. Yep. So, yeah, I'm just like, no, not happening. So, next I'll be wanting to bring down the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, it's gotten to the point of lunacy and ridiculousness. Our history is our history. Good, bad, or indifferent, and so and here's the best part. It's picking and choosing. This is okay, but that's not okay. We can take down this, but we're not taking down that. And that's ridiculous too. It's just, we are continually giving in to the mob mentality. And so pacifying people, that's not the answer. Because once you give in to that, give them that inch, then they want a mile. And that's how it goes, Again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We need to stop all the BS. We need to be one country. We need to be Americans. That's what we need to be. When people say, well, what are you? I'm an American, period. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing follows. I'm not a this, that, or the other thing American. I'm an American. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of people out there that would like to see America just burn right to the ground, okay? And when that time comes, I can tell you right now, you're not going to care if the guy next to you is black, Hispanic, American Indian, Irish, Scottish, German, Dutch, whatever the case may be, okay? Whatever, Italian, you're not going to care. Because if he's got your back, that's all you're going to care about. He's a fellow American fighting for his country. That's what you're going to care about. Unfortunately, we have just insanity running wild in this country right now. And I'm going to tell you what, and I've said this before, and I'll say this again. What you see in the news is what the news wants you to see. They don't talk about the silent majority in this country that are sitting back going, keep playing stupid games. Keep playing stupid games. Because there's a lot of people out there that are not going to tolerate this nonsense. A lot of them. And so, it comes down to at what point do we say enough is enough? And that's what will end up happening. And when people start fighting back, well, it's just like that couple that came out of their home after these peaceful protesters broke down the gate and were on their property, and they came out of their house with their guns. They have been vilified. Are you freaking kidding me? You don't have the right to. Now, it's not like they came out of their house shooting. And you know what? If they did, they would have had every right to. They really would have had every right to. Oh, yeah. JJ just said, yeah, did you see the NFL will be doing on opening day? They will be playing the Black National Anthem. I've never heard of that before. And again, it's ridiculous. The whole thing of this, all of it is ridiculous. And it's all about pacification and, give in, give in, give in. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, November will be awful. That's Carolyn just said that. You know what? I can't disagree. And again, whoever wins, whatever side wins, if Biden wins, you think everybody's going to go, okay, yeah, that's all right. Now it's fine now. I just think that we're at a point. I mean, this country's been around for what, 244 years. I think, every great nation comes to an end at some point. It really does. And, and we've been an empire for a long time. Prepared Grunt, Oklahoma is asking militia to come help. Hold on a second. Help militia come to help defend the flag and the statues. I did not hear that, but that doesn't surprise me, and that's good. Thank you for the donation, and thanks for sharing that, because I had not heard that at this point. But I'm going to tell you what, it's like what people don't understand is how bad things can get, okay? Let's say we end up having a complete civil war in this country, all right? Let's talk about what will not be happening if we have a civil war in this country and everybody's fighting everybody, okay? So the first thing we're not going to have if that happens, food distribution is going to stop. The trucks will not be running because they'll be afraid to get ambushed, and the drivers will be afraid for their lives, everything else. So right there, that'll be the end of that. So there'll be no more food coming in. And that's why, like, one of the emphases that I've talked about for quite a while is food, making sure you have enough food, make sure you're prepared in that aspect. All right. If you have an area and there is, like, say, subversive take over an area, all they have to do is then shut the power off in that area, kill the grid in that area. And that's easy to do. The government can do that anytime they want to. So, you have, there's another aspect of it. So if you're just the average citizen minding your own business and a group of people come in and they take over the area, and then the next thing you know, you have, an exacerbation of stuff going on, and the government says, oh, okay, you want to play games, and they flip that switch and kill that power in that area, you're going to be affected too. There is a lot of stuff that people don't think about. Think about, like right now, you're basically told you go out in public, you wear a mask, you do this, you do that. And everybody's like, some people are like, okay, some people are not okay with it, But, if we get into some kind of a civil war, which, by the way, which is exactly what the powers that be want us to get into, either a race war or some kind of civil unrest, left versus right. They want that. Because why? When that happens, they can lock us down with martial law, and then all control is gone. All your freedoms are gone. Okay? So remember that. And prepare accordingly. We're talking about propane here a little bit, I love the sheriff who says he will deputize the whole town if needed. I think it was in Florida. Yeah, I saw that as well, and I thought that was absolutely awesome. My gut keeps pointing towards a volcanic event. I don't know why, but that's what I've been getting lately. Compton Moon said that. You know what? And that's a possibility as well. You know, it's at the end of the day, guys, realistically, just like what's going on in Hong Kong right now, it is about control. They want to control you, every aspect of your life. And if you won't do it willingly, they can, you know, like I said, they masters of manipulation. And they're manipulating people like crazy right now. They're getting people fired up over, you know, ridiculous stuff. You know, it's so, okay. I'm not, I hate bringing up the whole race thing all the time, but I'm going to bring up one point. In 2019, for the entire year, 15 unarmed black people were killed by the police. 15 in the whole country. 330 million people. 15 were killed by the police. And if you figure that out statistically, that is nothing. That's nothing. Okay? But the media takes all those events, pushes it up to the top, gets everybody stirred up emotionally, and that's what they do. Hey, Asif, another 4.3 earthquake hit the Big Island in Hawaii right now. Okay. I know there was another one earlier today. Well, they got that one volcano there. It might be starting to get ready to act up again. You just never know with that. Wolfang says Cincinnati has mandated we wear masks starting July 6th. All right. But again, so nations which fall usually begin with incompetent leaders. Well, I'll tell you what. It's just you go to these, you know, these different places. You look at where the places are the worst in this country. The cities are the worst. Who are they run by? So, you know, that kind of answers that question right there. Free handouts is not the way to go. That doesn't help anybody. John T. McGill says, if Yellowstone goes, everything goes with it. Oh, yeah, that's a planet changer. But, yeah, so today, I think it was, or was it, was it today or yesterday? It was Wednesday we set a new record, and then we set another new record yesterday. I don't know what the numbers are yet for today. But it was over 50,000 new cases of coronavirus in the country. So, hey, Donna Smith. Great show tonight. Please, everyone, if you get out and about this weekend, keep your head on a swivel. Lots of events going on tomorrow. Be safe. That's very good advice, Donna. Absolutely. You just never know. It would be a great opportunity for somebody that was looking to cause trouble to do that. And thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. I'm tell you what I'm doing tomorrow. 4th of July. 4th of July is tomorrow. I'm not doing anything. I'm staying right home. I'm not going out watching fireworks. I don't want to be around any crowds. I'm just going to be laying back here at the homestead and just relaxing. Well, I mean, I got things I can do here, but it's, there's always something to do. But it's just, that's what we're doing here. We're going to have no intention of going out anywhere. We're not going out to watch fireworks. We're going to be laying low. It's just a smarter thing to do with everything that's going on, with the numbers continuing to rise. It just makes more sense. What are we at? 867 in the chat, guys. We're at 283 on a thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that, please, to show support for the channel. And thank you for that ahead of time. And again, it really does help with the algorithms. And so thank you for that as well. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Please check to see if you have been unsubscribed. YouTube in the last 2 days, and there's nothing that I did this time to piss anybody off. They chopped 30, and then they chopped another 30 subscribers off from me. So if you are not getting notifications, please make sure you double check. Obviously, I'm on every day. I live stream 3 days a week, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 8 o'clock. So I always do that all the time. It's just, YouTube is playing their games like they always do. So, like I said, all we can do is just, pay attention and stuff like that. So if you're now all of a sudden not getting notifications or not seeing anything, just double check because, like I said, it's a big game that's going on. And they've been doing it for a while, probably, a year and a half now, trying to slow everybody down, not letting channels grow. Certain channels, let me just say, truther channels, anybody that doesn't fit the norm. Now, if I was doing videos about me in a big bowl of cereal or something stupid like that, that would be fine. But because I tell people to wake up, be ready, don't trust the government, be aware of what's going on, be aware of the games that are being played, open your eyes and pay attention. That's not acceptable because they don't want that. They want you to be asleep. They want you to continue to work the machines, do as you're told, go spend your money, and that's what they want. So it never stops. Yeah, the Jersey Shore will be the next hospital. Are they open this weekend or closed? I don't know if they're open or closed. I know, like Florida closed beaches. I don't know if Texas did or not, but the cases are just jumping up exponentially down in the South. And again, part of it, and I think part of the surge of numbers as well, is because of everybody out protesting. So let's here's something to think about with that. Yeah, they're backed up with massive traffic. He said, okay. Here's something to think about. So you got the younger people. They don't get the virus as bad and all this type of stuff. We've heard all these things, and who knows what's true and what's not true. But all these young people are all protesting. Well, where do they go when they're done protesting? Because most of them probably live with mommy and daddy, right? Maybe grandma lives in the house too. So they go back home, and if they got the virus, and even if they get a mild case of the virus, now maybe they give it to mom and dad. They might give it to grandma or grandpa. That's going to happen. And that's how things spread like crazy. And a lot of it is because of stupidity. So, I mean, basically what I have done since this whole thing has started, if I had to go to to Lowe's to get supplies, I've done that. There's a hardware place in town. I've had to go get a few things there, and every time I go to one of those places, it literally is in and out. We've had to obviously go grocery shopping like everybody else, so we've done that. Pretty much kept a low profile. It's not, and the thing is too, where I live, I think we have in the entire county, we've had 128 cases and 8 deaths. So we're not talking like it's running rampant out where I'm at. Now, in the places with bigger cities, it's a little bit different. College students are having COVID parties. Robert Blakemore just said that. Yeah, that's just not smart either. That's 95% of the people in Alabama don't wear masks, do not social distance. Hold on a second. At all and never did. And when they stay at home order was put in effect. Boss Prepping just said that. Yeah, people are going to do what they're going to do until they would put up some kind of roadblocks and stop people and check people. People are still going to do what they're going to do. They don't care. My thing was kind of like, if I didn't have to go out, we didn't go out. If there's running around that I had to do, then obviously we went and did it. Again, trying to get more supplies, trying to get things ready. One of the things that I did do, like somebody was talking about propane, I had gone down, and this is a while back now, and I had gone down to the local propane place in town. Now, right now, that place, the staff isn't even in the office, so you can't even go in there anymore because they're all working from home. It's crazy how they got it set up now. But so you can't like go in there and get your propane tanks filled or anything like that. And that's the propane company. Okay. But what's happening, so what I did was when things started getting kind of hairy, I went out and I bought 3 more 20-pound tanks just to have them on hand. I think it's a really, really smart thing to do. Now, you can go to the gas stations. You can still get the propane tanks. If you have empty tanks, go there and exchange them. Get rid of your old ones. Get the newer stuff. It's just smart to have it. Make sure everything is full. Your gas in your car, okay? Never go below half a tank. That's a rule of thumb that I've had forever. Never go below half a tank. If it gets below half a tank, I'm stopping someplace and I'm gassing up. Just trying to be, and it's like now I have been out riding a lot, okay, but I'm not stopping anywhere. I'm just out on a bike and I'm riding. I'm trying to stay away from people as much as I possibly can, just because it's just a smart thing to do. Why take a risk if you don't have to? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Luke Thompson said, I've counted multiple Buckeye on here. A lot of people from Ohio, huh? Heard a doctor say in new classes don't matter, only the hospital admission numbers matter. I don't know. I'm going to tell you what. I keep hearing all these different things, and here's the problem. With all the different informations out there, you don't know what's true and not true. When they're talking about, oh, well, the death rate of people dying is this percent, and most of the people that are dying are old people, so people don't care, okay? I don't think that is the case. When I'm seeing different things that are being put up there, I think that the death rate is much higher than is being, is shown. And like I said, I think in a lot of circumstances, a lot of nursing homes are underreporting stuff. They don't want people to know. That's my opinion. Like I said, I'd take my car and gas it up. I'm at a quarter tank. Yeah, it's not good. It's not, because again, the thing with that, if you had to bug out and like, let's say you had to go, everything went to crap and you have some place that you know that you're going, you got a quarter tank of gas. Are you going to be able to get there? How many miles to the gallon do you get? So that's always kind of my thought process too. Ed, do you wear a face mask while riding your bike? I do not. I wear a half helmet, Tony. I've always worn a half helmet. I like to feel the wind in my face and stuff like that. So yeah, I wear a half helmet. Skid lid, as they call it. So, all right, well, let's do this, guys. Actually, Boss Preppin just put his prediction up. We're going to do how many eggs, how many eggs you guys think that we got today. And we'll do that really quickly because we're almost at 900 people in the chat. And while we're at that point, I'm going to ask again for another thumbs up if you have not shot one. So I would appreciate that if you would shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. And again, it does really help with the algorithms. So thank you for that ahead of time. And again, and if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, again, please make sure you do subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Okay, so thank you for that as well. So actually, Merry Christmas just came in here, and he said, today you can have forgiveness. Today, repent and be baptized in Jesus' name. Acts 2:37-38. Thank you for that. Merry Christmas. I appreciate that statement, and thank you very much for the donation. All right, so, and I'm going to go with one of my moderators because one of my moderators was right. If you said 8 eggs, like Wolfang said 8 eggs, then you were 100% correct. It was hot, very humid today. I just think they were like, we're not doing it. So we ended up with 8 eggs today, which, and again, normally we're like 9 to 13. So you just never know. So 8 eggs was the number today. But yeah, there was a few of you that had 8. So I was looking. I said, okay, who's got 8? And no, Wolfgang did not call me beforehand to get the answer. So, yeah, they're protesting. They're like, it is too hot. But yeah, they're good birds. They're good birds. So, but like I said, we more than enough eggs for what we need. More than enough eggs. S. Mayberry says you should never be. Hold on a second. I'll read that. You should never be below half a tank of gas and be able to pull out of a parking spot or driveway. Never put yourself in a position to be stranded backing up. That's very good advice. Good, like I said, if you have to get out and you have to get someplace, if you get in your car and you're at a quarter tank or less, you're in deep trouble right from day one. So, with always having the minimum of a half a tank, it just makes more sense. I mentioned in my egg count earlier today's video. I didn't say what the count was because we pulled 4 more out. We pulled 4 out this morning, and then like we didn't pull the other 4 out till about 6:30. So I don't know. I may have been talking about it in the earlier video today. I don't remember. So. But yeah, it's like having enough gas in your car and being ready that way is just smart. If you have backup gas, I mean, even if you can, have a gas can, in your trunk or something like that with a couple extra gallons in it, a small one, not a bad idea either. Like I said, I will never go below a half a tank in my car. if I get near a half a tank, I'm looking for a gas station. So that's just kind of how I do it. So it just makes more sense to me. It does anyway. But again, it's that prepper mindset. And I figure if I'm out someplace and now I got to get back home, I don't have to want to worry about where am I going to go get gas to be able to make it home. But I'm never really that far away from home anyway. So, like even on the bike, I watch the gas gauge on the bike. And I'm like, we got to stop and get gas. So, but even more so in the winter. Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to find yourself stranded someplace because you ran out of gas in the wintertime and not have enough proper supplies in your car or truck or whatever you have to be able to get to where you need to go. It's that's an important thing. Having that bug out stuff in your car is where do you store your gas to be safe? Well, technically what they say, and I'll tell you what they technically say, is you should have an outbuilding strictly for like gasoline and propane and those type of things. Now, is that feasible to do? Not always. I keep my extra gas in my shop. So, and I've done that since day one. So, we just increased earlier this year, I added more. What did I add? I always kept like 60 gallons on hand of gas. I think it was 60. That's what I always had a minimum of 60. And I just increased that up to at least, I think I have 80 now. So it made more sense. It was a smarter move, and I may go get a few more gas cans and add them into the mix as well. Now, what I do for gas, I do not use stabilizer because I rotate my gas. So let's talk about gas. How long can gas be stored and all that good stuff? Let's talk about that for a moment. So gasoline, there's a fall mix and then there's a spring mix. Both times a year, it's a different mix that you're getting for your cars, okay? What I do is now you can put stabilizer and it'll stabilize the gas, which means you can sit on it for up to 2 years. You absolutely can do that. Do I have stabilizer? I absolutely do have stabilizer. And the reason that I have stabilizer, because when SHTF happens, again, and I've always said this, you're going to have what you have, all right? Whatever you got, that's what you got. So if I have 80 gallons of gas on hand, I got at least a half a gallon of gas in my vehicle, and and then whatever gas I have in the motorcycle and stuff like that. What I would do at that point is I would put stabilizer in whatever gas I had to make it last longer. Now, what I do right now is twice a year, April and October. So April 1st comes, I start rotating and using all the gas that I have on hand, use it for lawnmowers, for the four-wheeler, for, the car, wherever I'm going. And then as soon as that one can is empty, I take that can and I go fill it up immediately. I never wait until I have 5 or 6 cans and do it at once. Not a smart move to do. As soon as you empty out a can, go and load up that can again. That's the smartest thing to do. So a lot of times what I'll do is with a car, I'll wait. Got the 5-gallon gas cans. I'll let the car go down to about a quarter tank. I'll put 2 of them in the car, giving me 10, almost 11 gallons of gas. And then I take those 2 gas cans and I go right down to the gas station and I refill them. I will do that for the entire month of April until that gas is used up. And then, again, I do it in the fall again. So I'm rotating my gas every 6 months, no matter what. And it's just a habit I got into, so I don't have to think about it. I know that when October 1st comes, I will use all my old gas first, rotate it, and then just go from there. And that has worked out really, really well for me. If you are not using stabilizer, your gas will go bad after a time, okay? So that's something that you need to think about. So that's why I like to rotate it. And I think the more gas that you can have on hand, I think it's a smarter thing. Now, if you can get a big old gas can, my grandparents used to have back in the day, they had like it was a 500-gallon tank. And, they eventually had to put a lock on it because people were coming and stealing their gas. Because people knew they had the big gas can back there and they didn't have a lock on it. So they ended up having to do that. Regular gas is 6 months. Non-ethanol is 12 months without stabilizer, 2 years with. Well, there you go. So But yeah, like I said, I rotate that gas every 6 months, and it just works out great for me. But if you can get a big old gas can somewhere, a big tank, 55-gallon drums that are designed to hold gasoline, you can do it that way as well. It's absolutely up to whatever you feel like doing. Follower of Jay, if you could only get one firearm to protect your homestead, what would you suggest? Wow, one. For protection, strictly protection, and some hunting, I got to go with a shotgun. That that's for home defense. Double-aught buckshot with a shotgun is your best bet. So if you have one thing that you could have, one gun that you could have, I would suggest a shotgun. Now, if you're looking to try to get a lot of small game and stuff like that, then you should have a 22. But a 22 is not going to be good for home defense. 22 will take somebody out. It will kill somebody. Yes, it will. But you know. Hey, Lola J, what's happening in Hong Kong? We already talked about all that, Lola. I'm sorry. We talked about it earlier in the show. Sorry about that. You have to go back and watch it from the beginning again. I don't really want to go over it all again because I don't know how many people have been watching from the beginning. So, but yeah, we did talk about that. Ed, can you make your own arrows? I can't. I do not know how to make arrows. So I do have a crossbow, and I do have arrows for that. And again, it's just like anything else. Redundancy. The more that you have, the better position you're going to put yourself in. So I think that the more that you can get, the better off you're going to be. So again, it's just really, really smart to be as prepared as you possibly can be. And but as far as and I've said this before, and I'll say this again too, and I've talked about this actually quite a few times. Whatever weapons you have, my suggestion to anybody, be it a 22, shotgun, rifle, pistol, whatever you have, every weapon that you have, minimum of 2,000 rounds per weapon. Minimum. Don't have 200. You'll go through 200 in a heartbeat. Minimum 2,000 rounds. And there is no maximum. So once you hit 2,000, you just keep going. Because once again, and I've said it and I will say it and I will always keep saying this, when SHTF happens, you're going to have what you have. So if you have a propane gas grill, okay, and you use it, we use ours. When a tank runs out, I go get it. I go refill it. Now, right now, we can't go to the gas company and refill it because the office is closed and they're not doing it. So I would have to go to a gas station and do the exchange that way. When you go to the gas company, the propane company itself, they actually fill your tank. When you exchange it at a gas station, it's not going to be completely full. It might be 80% full if you're lucky. Okay, so you got to remember that. It's just another option for you. It gives you an opportunity. Be smart. Be ready. Like I said, with going and getting extra propane tanks, it just puts me in a position that gets me longer out where than I need to go. I have a 330-gallon tank in my yard. Anybody that's been watching the channel knows I have a 330-gallon tank. They come and fill my tank up once a year. Last year, because I do it in June, okay? Last year, for the whole year, between June of last year and June of this year, I used 40 gallons of propane. That's it. Hey, Hope King. Merry Christmas early. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation. And that is a little early, but that's okay. Thank you for that, though. I appreciate that. But like I said, again, and I only use the propane for hot water. That's all I use propane for. So it's not like it's running 24/7. Clyde Ham just said, I bought my daughter a bow and arrow set, but not the crossbow. She didn't want that, but she's a dead shot, our Indian heritage. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Compound bow is fine too. Compound bow, crossbow, whatever. It's a very silent way to hunt animals on 4 legs and 2. Sometimes you need to do things quietly, so it's a really, really smart thing to have. Again, just being as smart as you possibly can be. That's important. Jimmy just said, I believe we will get hit with a new and more deadly virus. Well, I'm going to tell you what, I believe that when it mutates and we get this next round in the fall, I think we're going to be in deep trouble with that one, to be honest with you. Hey, Nikki, protesters wore expensive shoes shown by people that paid 50 cents a day. Will they stop wearing these shoes exploiting people while screaming about history? You know what? The whole, the whole thing has been orchestrated. They've been manipulated. A lot of these people have been manipulated, don't realize they're being manipulated. Again, if you look at the history of it, the history of violence with police, do they target certain people the way that they look, the way that they act? Of course they do. But they also do it to white people. Go out there and ask any biker. Anybody that's a biker, go out and ask them if they don't get profiled because they're a biker. Okay? And I'm not just talking about your 1%. The 1% guys get targeted even more than anybody else. They probably get, I'm going to tell you right now, I will go out on a limb and say that 1% bikers probably are targeted way more than black folks ever have been. And that's just a fact. The cops harass the crap out of them constantly. It happens. Now, are people stereotyped? Sure they are. Okay, but if I pull you over, okay, and just let's be honest about this. I pull you over and I'm a cop, and I have your license and I run your information, and I see you have a record as long as my arm. The chances are there's probably going to be something going on, right? If you have an arrest record that is a mile long, there's probably something up. Now, if you don't, then it probably not. But you just don't know. And I'm sorry, but if you don't want to be profiled, you probably shouldn't have certain behaviors. I mean, when you roll down the window of your car, you probably shouldn't have just finished smoking that joint. That gives them probable cause. Hey, Asif, I'm concerned about recovered patients when the new strain comes back in the fall. Compromised lungs from round 1 with CV. Round 2, lights out for good. You know what? And you're right. That's a great statement. Thank you so much for the donation. And yeah, when you now you have, and so who's been the most susceptible in round 1? Okay, round 1, the most susceptible people are compromised folks. Okay, those are the ones that are most susceptible right now. So yeah, gray man, exactly, Matt. You keep a low profile. That's what you want to do. But yeah, I think round 2 is going to be really scary, and I think people are going to be, I fully anticipate that Heather will start school in the fall because they're going to start in August, so they're starting next month. I think that as things continue, if they get worse again, they will be back home again. That will not surprise me at all if that happens. Won't surprise me at all. So we're just going to do what we got to do. We're going to see how it goes, and she, a lot of her classes will be online, even though she's going to be at school. Certain things they have to have, classroom instruction. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of protocols in place, a lot of safety stuff, and not round 2. This is a protest surge. I'm not talking about right now. Right now is not round 2. No, I absolutely called the fact that when they started opening everything back up, this was before the protests. When they started opening things back up, I said the numbers would go back up. And that's exactly what happened. The protest surge, that's just exacerbating those numbers. This is not round 2. Round 2 will come this fall. It will mutate, and I think it'll be much, much worse. I still get people that will come into the channel and say that the whole thing is fake, none of it's real, and I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what, and then so then I'll get those people that say, well, there was this group of nurses that thought that the results were weird, and they kept sending test results in that were not tested, and they were coming back positive. How true that is, I have no idea. I don't. I mean, I can't, you don't know. But 9 times out of 10, somebody's getting tested for the virus, they're sick already. Right? They're already sick. So why are you getting tested if you're not sick? Unless you're in one of those jobs where like if you have to go to the dentist office or whatever the case may be, where they say you can't come until you've been tested, right? So Round one is not even kicked in yet. Yeah, exactly. Everybody kept saying, "Well, wait till the warm weather comes; it'll die out." Well, the warm weather's here, folks, and it is not dying out. So you tell me. You know, again, there's a tremendous amount of false information going on out there. The reality is, the reality is that there are people that are dying from this. Okay, and there's no denying that, none. Okay, so are the weaker, are the more susceptible people more at risk? Sure they are. So if you were younger, you got it, and now you have some, permanent lung damage or whatever the case may be from having it, and you recover from round one, that doesn't make you immune from round two. It just makes you now you're one of the compromised ones. So that's something to think about. It was a great statement, Asif, and thank you for saying that again. A virus is mutating every 48 hours. Yeah. So, you know, each person can be tested 7 times, which drives up the numbers. Well, the thing is, realistically, to make sure that you're going to continue to be negative, unless you are completely isolating 100% by yourself, you'd have to be tested every day. Because if you're interacting with people in any way, there is a chance that you may have contacted it. So, you just don't know. It's hard to say. You just don't know. But Sharon, good night. Have a good night, hon. Had first 2 deaths this week in my small town. Connie just said that. And that's the other thing I kept hearing too. People say, "Well, I don't know anybody that's had it. I don't know anybody that's died from it." Well, I've known both. So there you go. I don't know what rock you're hiding under, these people. And again, they could just be somebody out there just running their mouth. You don't know. But like I said, I'm just. And I have a half sister that is diabetic. That the CV virus is not doing that has the virus and is not doing well. Yeah, again, that's yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. But again, that's from Spaz Mama. No, that wasn't either. I'm sorry. That was from Delbert Jones. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's scary, and compromised people are going to be at a higher risk. Let's see. They count each, yes, but they count each test as a separate case. Gene Blair just said that. I had not heard that. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm not saying that it is true. I had not heard that. I have no idea if that's factual or not. I don't know. So why would you keep testing the same person if you already know that they have it? That really doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Just to see if they still have it or if it's run its course and it's gone. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, Asif, there's a new strain of flu in China that worries me. Not yet spreading outside of China, but it could hit the last quarter when CV Part 2 begins. Wow, okay, well, I had heard that too, that there's a new strain in China that's pretty bad. And thank you so much for the donation, and thank you for that information. Oh, Gene Blair said that's my point. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Gene. I like I said, I don't know where you heard that information from, but I don't know if that's true or not true. So I can't confirm or deny it. Okay. So I'm just, a lot of things, unless I know for sure, I'm not going to sit on here and say, oh, this is 100% accurate. If I don't think it's 100% accurate, I'm not going to tell you that it's accurate. I give information from what I'm getting a lot of times, but some stuff but there's so much stuff out there that's being spread around. Ed, where do you put your propane tanks that's safe? Again, they're in the shop as well. They're not in the house. I keep them in the shop as well. Shop is very cool. It's surrounded by trees, and again, so it's a good spot. It's always cool in there. It's never hot in there. So that's where I have it for now. Eventually, what I'd like to have a small outbuilding, and I mean small. I got a lot of outbuildings already. But I wouldn't mind having a place where I have strictly for gas and propane and those type of things. That would down the road, that definitely will happen. So building me a gas and propane shed now. Ken Hughes just said that. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have. Absolutely not a bad thing to have at all. So can you store little green bottles in a cooler? I don't know. I don't know what little green bottles you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. Susie Hargrove said a friend had COVID, got better, went to work, and died of a heart attack 3 weeks later. Wow, that's a scary part of it too. Uh, Jeremy J says here in San Francisco, 5 of my friends are sick with COVID. Yeah, so there's a lot of people. Again, thank you for the donation, Jerry, as well. I do appreciate that. I think a lot of people that are coming on saying that they don't know anybody, they could just somebody be talking out of their behind. Okay, they're just talking out of their butt. They're probably just trying to do it to stir the pot. At this point, with the number of cases that we've had in the United States, the chances are that most people know someone that has either had it or died from it. When you got 28,000 people that have died in the United States, the chances are that you're going to know somebody, or know of somebody. Keep your propane safe. Propane can be a target for looters as a way to drive you out of your location. Yeah, well, and they want to take it too. Always remember, people are very, very clever. People are not stupid. So, they will try to draw you out so that maybe somebody comes around the back door and takes all your stuff while you're distracted. Those are things that happen too. So, any building built for propane and fuel storage built out of cement block with a metal roof. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. Thank you for that, Tony. Thomas Turner said, Ed, how are the raised beds growing? They are absolutely awesome. Our squash, the yellow squash, is just unbelievably taken off. Everything looks really, really good. So a lot of blossoms. We got quite a few tomatoes on the tomato plants already. So, yeah, everything is going really, really good. Oh, no, there's a good idea. Spaz Mama just said solar oven for cooking. Research, folks. Yeah, solar oven is really good, especially if you're in an area where you're getting enough sunshine. Yeah, I have the concrete blocks. Yep, Annette Boyle just said, I have the extra concrete blocks. Well, I want to put in another raised bed, too. So, but I have some things that I want to do. I want to get more. I'll definitely be having more concrete blocks put in. Brought in, I should say. Not probably anytime soon, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But, Connie says, your garden amazes me. I'm going to tell you what, everything, and I'll tell you what, the number one key to a good garden, guys, soil. That is the number one component. If you want your gardens to grow, have good soil. That is absolutely the key. But just remember, if you can cook on a grill outside, everyone can smell it. Yeah, that's true too, Susie. You're right. You're absolutely right. Pollux, I hope I said that right. Pollux. Tech Direct no longer has your battery bank in inventory. I only saw a few sold on eBay, but nowhere else. Odd. Wow. Well, I know that. Thank you for that information, and thank you so much for the donation. I know that they were saying that they were getting more coming in. I believe it was going to be in. They said June, so maybe they didn't get them in because they were coming from China, so they might be delayed from that. Yeah, it's. Will you have a sprinkler system in the greenhouse? Gene Blair. Good question, Gene. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do things yet in the greenhouse. I really got to get in there and really get going. I know I keep saying it. There's a few other things that I want to take care of first. I do have this week coming up. I have 2 more face cord of wood coming. And after we get past tomorrow and then Sunday, the next 5 days in the forecast for here are 92 plus. So it's going to be brutally hot. But I will tell you this, I will absolutely get that 2 face cord stacked up as soon as it gets here. So that's going to happen. That's not going to be delayed. I'm telling you that right now. I will not delay on that. So, it's, I want to get in there and I want to get going with that. Like I said, just even today, getting in there and working, adding more dirt to the potatoes. I mean, literally my arms were sweating like through here. And when your arm sweats there, you know it's hot. It was crazy. Put lots of quarantine signs up. Hopefully, it will keep the thieves at bay. Well, you know what also do it, Tony? When you shoot the first couple people that are thinking they're going to come and take your stuff, and then you string them up with signs saying looters will be shot, that's also a really good deterrent. And if you get that reputation, the people would generally just decide to go someplace else. So, but I'm just saying. COVID is a BS test, or 80% false positive. Where are you getting that information from, John? I'm not saying it's not true, but where's that information coming from?